Okay, I see there's a bunch of people who are way too excited for this. We are gonna get into the fun stuff, and this is the fun stuff. But first, I know you all come because you know exactly who he is. You know very well about who he is, but I'm still gonna introduce our guest today. So, you know him as the person who would fly the Hong Kong flag, the person that knows Hong Kong better than we do. He belongs here just as much as every single one of us, and he has built this legacy, this empire of his one and only persona on Instagram. But today, we're not here for that. Today, we are here to break him open. We are here, well, not that way, come on. We are here to break him open. And
you can break me open that way, it's fine.
Okay. Mentally first, and then physically, we'll see. But we are here to find out his other side, this sophisticated side of him, and we're here to dive into things you've never heard. And so, first, I'd like to invite you to give it up for the face of Sam's Taylor, Mr. Rojaan Ilwani. Okay. So, you are gonna have your time, everyone. You can ask later, but first, I'm gonna start. So, Rojaan, I think everyone here knows you so well that we're not even gonna bother with the basic stuff. We're gonna dive right into it. So, you've been in Hong Kong basically your entire life. And again, I think we would all say if someone were to fly a flag, hey, it would be you, 100%. And so, you know the local taste, you know us, I think, better than we do. But given all that, I want to know, how do you connect with people? How is it that you're able to connect with people from all ages, all backgrounds, all cultures, all genders? How are you able to do that? What's the secret?
So the answer is actually very easy. The answer is courage, okay? The problem with humanity, the problem with each and every individual here is that when you screw up, do we have any faculty here? I'll still try and control my language, okay? Just add a curse word to a word that, I stutter with. So the problem with humanity is that when you screw up, when you mess up, you feel ashamed, okay? And then you think the whole world is watching you. And you cower in your own shame. You wallow in your own shame. And what you don't realize is that nobody cares. The other 7.9 billion people on this planet have their own problems, all right? They're not thinking that you got wasted last night. They're not thinking that you went in for a kiss for a girl and she rejected you, okay? They're not thinking that you posted something on Insta and you got a mad amount of hate, okay? They're not thinking that. They got their own problems, all right? So, you want to connect with people. Courage. Courage is the underlying thing that you need to demonstrate. You actually don't have to be courageous. You can be the biggest coward there is, but never show that hand. Someone was talking, a German guy was talking yesterday about it being intrinsic to us to flock with our own kind, okay? Even though young children are taught that there is no color, there is no white guy, there is no black guy, there is no brown guy. Intrinsically, as humans grow, they flock to their own kind. It's the same thing with animals, okay? Intrinsically, I guarantee you, humans like heroes. They like people with courage. So if you want to succeed with anything, one of your weapons, first and foremost, has to be courage.
Great answer. So it's to be brave and to really not care, about too much. It's to do what's passionate to you at heart, right?
I think that you're inhumane if you don't care, okay? But the problem is this, is that you're going to be attacked no matter what you do, all right? And if you can't hold yourself up to that, then you're not going to get anywhere in life. And that holds with everything, you know what I mean? It goes beyond social media. It's anything and everything in your life, in the era that we live in, right? You're not going to be heralded unless you do something strikingly good, okay? How much hate does Elon Musk get? Okay, it's incessant, but it never stopped him from getting where he is. How much hate did Donald Trump go through, but he's the comeback king of the year. I think you understand my point. So you're going to be affected no matter what comes your way. Anything nasty that comes your way, you're going to be affected. But But if you want to be somebody, if you want to connect with people, if you want to be a poster boy or girl, you need to cast that aside. Have a single-minded, determined belief in yourself and move forward with that.
Great. So I think all of you, how many people are in any student club, any student society? You have a role in there. Come on, I know some of you do. So a lot of people here. So I think a lot of them can relate because although not in such a global context, but a lot of them are trying to, be their own, to have their personality, to be themselves here and in places, in clubs, in societies, and subjects. So I think, guys, courage, as Roshan said, courage. So I hope we will see a lot of brave souls here in HKUST after today. But now I want to move on to more of you and your business and your legacy. So, of course, your family started this business here in Hong Kong and has been passed down a lot of generations. We all know that. But what we all want to know is, given your success, given your courage, you could connect with everyone, anywhere in the world. You could make this business anywhere in the world. And so, of course, we know that Hong Kong means something to you because this is legacy, this is family, this is heritage. But aside from that, what is the reason that draws you to Hong Kong? What's the passion that this place holds?
So the list is long, right? First of all, unionization is something huge. We don't have that in a city like this. If I were to try and set up shop elsewhere, there's a whole host of red tape issues that one has to face. And at this stage in my career, I'm not ready to face that, right? I don't need to. I'm in a safe haven, which is completely laissez-faire. No matter what they try and tell you in the press, our government is extremely laissez-faire. Taxation, the top tax bracket is 17%. Culture, okay? Now this is huge for me, right? I'm not an advocate of political correctness, okay? I think it's a lousy, ugly umbrella that is misused by everyone to be a pain in people's asses, all right? And you don't have political correctness in Hong Kong, in Asia in general, and I'm really, really, really happy about that. A people's business like mine is successful because I'm extremely rapid and I cut through all the political correctness there is. In my world, in my city, the white guy is the white guy, the Chinese guy is the Chinese guy, the black guy is the black guy, etc., etc. And so it just makes life easier. And I get to work with such an immense amount of people because they come here to Hong Kong. And wherever they emanate from, they feel free. They truly feel free. So that's another reason why I wouldn't want to move away and set up elsewhere, because the freedom that Hong Kong espouses is just unparalleled in every single way.
Okay, so I'm glad that Hong Kong isn't a pain in the butt, right, for you, so that's fantastic. So again, today is about the audience. So I want to move on to the audience a little bit. So I know we have so many diverse cultures here, people from all different kind of backgrounds, international students, local students, different curriculums from all sorts of places. So I'd like to know if you were to impart advice on them, because I know, and this is for me too, right? When meeting people of different cultures, sometimes it's difficult to establish that rapport, to build that connection instantaneously. And so I want to make this more about the students. If you were to give them advice on how you would bridge those cultures, especially since this is such a free place, without all that, red tape, how would you encourage them to do so?
Pop culture. Okay, it's actually very, very, very simple. When I moved to New York in 1995, how did I suddenly relate with Americans across the city? Well, at that time, I'm subjected to television, such as stuff like Rocky and Rambo and Commando and so forth, and shows like Dallas and Dynasty. Now, one of the ways that you can immediately break the ice with people is through pop culture from their own country. All right, start talking about these TV shows when you meet an American. You wouldn't do it now. I'm talking about my own example back in 1995. And even if you sound stupid, they'll be there to educate you. And that strikes up a conversation, and that strikes up the foundations of a potential friendship. When I moved to London in 1999, I was meeting Europeans from every European nation there is. both in my work and at clubs. I'm a huge soccer fan, at least I was a huge soccer fan back then. I'd meet an Austrian in a bar, and it could be 2 a.m. in a club, and he's from Austria, and I'm like, hey, Anton Polster, he's my dad's client. Now, none of you know who Anton Polster is. And most people outside of Austria, nobody outside Austria knows who Anton Polster is. But this guy was Austrian, and I still use his line till today, okay? 2025. I talk about Anton Polster, and every Austrian loves it because Anton Polster is an Austrian hero. I would use Andriy Shevchenko with a Ukrainian, Djokovic with any Serbian, and it goes on and on and on. Pop culture, it's there at your fingertips. Whether you're scrolling, whether you're not scrolling, not watching, I guarantee your head is full of pop culture. And if you encounter anyone from a different nation, use the pop culture that you know about that nation to break ice with them. Again, I reiterate, it doesn't matter if you sound silly or stupid. You will warm yourself to that person, and it will set up a potential foundation for a relationship.
Okay, so I'd like to build off on that about the relationship part. So I think we all know that on the surface, very fun guy, very nice, art pieces of suits. But then when I was preparing for this, I saw an interview where you mentioned one thing that I really remember, which is that the reason you're doing this and what really gives you happiness is when you see relationships foster through you bring out the person. Maybe it's through the suit, the art piece, the interaction, but when you see someone so confident, right, so handsome, so beautiful, they feel so good in that art piece that you've made them, that makes you happy.
Yes, it makes me happy. One of my great skill sets, and it's honed over years of experience at KG5, years of experience at NYU, a year of experience in London, 6 months of experience at Herbert Smith, and now 26 years of experience at Sands Taylor. I've got 2 young men over here who I've made suits for, and they'll attest to that. I have the unique ability, and I guarantee all of you have the same ability. You have the same ability, and you're better than me at it, okay? Of jumping inside people's minds, asking them the right questions, and bringing their vision to life. And it's very, 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 very simple. Let's start with the basics. If you're 20 years old and you're at HKUST, and it doesn't matter then what nationality you are, right? But you're going to be after the same thing, an interview for an internship, okay? You're 20 years old and you go to Harvard University, you're 20 years old, you go to HKBU, you're 20 years old, you go to NYU, you need a suit for an internship interview, correct? So the suit's gonna be black, or charcoal gray, or blue, all right? Same thing is when you're 21 and 22 and you're going to work for Goldman Sachs or KPMG or McKinsey, etc., etc. But when you're 30, and you might be going to work for Price Waterhouse, or when you're 40 and you're an entrepreneur, things change. And you may not understand work culture then, but you can still be presumptuous of work culture at that time. You can still be presumptuous of how work culture is for a 40-year-old working at McKinsey. And if you are presumptuous and can strike dialogue based on that, even if you are wrong, you won't be scoffed at, you just be corrected. But you will have broken a path forward in dialogue to a 40-year-old who now works for McKinsey. So in my job, it's very, very simple. It's just a talent, it's a knack. Everybody has it. I have teammates who have worked with me for over a decade and a half and have seen me in action, but just don't have the courage to ask the right questions, don't have the courage to be presumptuous, okay? And I have the courage to be presumptuous. And the more presumptuous you are, the more experience you gain in becoming presumptuous. And the more presumptuous you are, the more likely that each and every one of your presumptions that you make are correct. And when you are presumptuous about a 40-year-old white guy, a 20-year-old Asian guy, a 35-year-old Indian guy, who you've never met before, okay? But you ask them just a few questions. Which city do you live in? Why is that important? Because if they live in Las Vegas or they live in Singapore, the fabric of the suit has to be completely different. Okay? It's got to go, you've got to give them very lightweight cloth. But if they live in New York or Boston, etc., the fabric's going to be different. Now, I'm using my business as a specific example, but this applies to relationships and any sort of business. If you are presumptuous with each and every person, whether you are correct in your presumptions or not, you will break ground forward. And that's basically it, okay? I am giving you a broad-based example of what I do. The easiest thing to do is, hi, you are gorgeous. My name is Rosha. Can we have a coffee? If she says no, don't think the 7.9 billion people on the planet are looking at you and laughing and saying, this guy just asked her and she said no. No, don't think that. Actually pat yourself on the back and say, look, I did it. And the other 7.9 billion people haven't done it. And I'm now going to go do it again. You want to strike a relationship with a person? Think of something easy, anything, and roll the dice.
Okay, I got it. I feel like I kind of want to stand too now, but I'll stand later. But something you said, which was about bringing people's vision to life. And also what you said earlier, so when you talk about being presumptuous, when you talk about trying to strike a conversation, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You give yourself a pat on the back. And I think, so today's about culture, and culture could be tangible, but it also could be intangible in the form of attitude. So I feel like what you said just now, if I were to summarize it with one word, to bring vision to life, to foster relationships, to be presumptuous, I think that's attitude. So if again, they're here to listen to all of your, experience, and we really want the life advice, we want the deep stuff. So what kind of attitude would you encourage such diverse young people to have? Because I think that is what makes you successful, because your success started before Instagram, which is rare because a lot of people are successful after Instagram. Before you, it's not. So there must be something that makes you stand out. And for me, I think it's attitude.
Okay, so initially aggression. Okay, whether you're an aggressive person or not, you've got to show aggression, and I'll tell you why. Okay, it's very simple. There's only one Mother Teresa, and there's only one Pope. And you don't hear about any sweetheart that is heralded. But there are so many bad boys and bad girls everywhere. Okay, boxers are heralded, MMA stars are heralded, anyone talking trash is heralded, Andrew Tate is heralded, etc., etc. Now that doesn't have to be you, okay? But if you want to be somebody and you haven't invented a flying car, okay? If you want to be somebody, then you have to lead with aggression. How you display that aggression, in what way you display that aggression, could be very aggressive comedy, whatever it may be. It could be a crazy cooking style. I don't know if you guys remember Martin Yan of Yan Can Cook. He'd like the Bruce Lee or the Jackie Chan in the kitchen, throwing knives and shit, banging the table, whatever. Aggression, okay? Aggression. People are going to be attracted to aggression. Aggression is not just beating someone. Aggression is not just swearing, okay? Aggression can be comedy. Aggression can be anything, all right? But people are attracted to aggression. That is intrinsic to human nature. If you are quiet like a mouse, then nobody will see you, because nobody sees the mouse.
So I think that is so true, because our mutual friend Matt, who hosted the event for today, made all of this. I think the reason why he's done so well in Isaac, the reason why there's all of this is aggression. I see his passion, his aggression with his work. And so I think that is really inspiring. Okay, so now I'd like to chop it up a bit and move the focus to the audience. So I'd like to open it up to the floor for 1 to 2 questions that you all may have. And I know you have a lot, so don't pretend you don't have any. Please participate. So let's open it up to them for a bit.
Sure.
Any questions?
I'm just going to pick on you. Come here.
Yeah, there's one there.
Shot with you. You know you're very handsome, right? You're a very tiny, cute little Indian boy, right?
Minimal touching.
Yeah. That's the question.
A question. Okay, so your content on Instagram, well, though it's bold in many ways, it can touch some people in the wrong ways, right? So how do you deal with that attention on media? And how do you like bridge the gap between people who love you for your extreme personality and people who may not reciprocate that expression?
Great question. How many of you know Cristiano Ronaldo? How many of you know Lionel Messi? And how many of you know the population of the planet? What's the population of the planet? You know why Cristiano is awesome? Because 4 billion people love him. You don't care about the rest. He's got 4 billion. You know why Lionel Messi is awesome? Because 4 billion people love him. He doesn't care about the rest. You cannot, this is what I'm saying, this is the problem. I don't want to be mean, alright? I have 3 children. My oldest is 15, and they think that sort of way, okay? You cannot be apologetic, alright? There's nothing in my content that I'm doing wrong. I walk the streets of Hong Kong, Dallas, Dubai, Kuala Lumpur, Tokyo, Osaka, and Guangzhou. And you know what people chant as I walk around? Tell me what they chant. They say, young Chinese boy, 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 wherever I go. I go to KG5, okay, where all 3 of my children go, okay? I enter KG5 every time, whether it's Christmas time or Easter time or something. It's like 300 people. I'm like the Pied Piper, you know, walking around. Young Chinese boy, young Chinese boy, young Chinese boy. It doesn't, I genuinely believe, okay, I genuinely believe that the people who take umbrage to my content are just doing so because they got, I don't know, they have nothing better to do or what. It's not good enough an answer for me. What I do know is this. Heroes, they have no friends. They only have followers and they have foes, okay? And I also know from my own experience is that most people, unless you walk into a stadium and you're cheering for Mohamed Salah relentlessly and you're a Liverpool supporter, people very rarely publicly and constantly cheer on their heroes. If Mo Salah has 2 bad games, then all those guys who loved him suddenly are on his ass. That's human nature, okay? So do I worry about who takes umbrage about my content? No. I'll tell you what I worry about, okay? I worry about that my content is super sophisticated in my dialogue and in my text and headlines. And I worry that, come on, there's got to be something wrong with humans if they are that stupid that they don't understand my rhetoric, okay? I have Mormons coming in and I'm talking about their multiple wives. I have Pakistanis coming in and I'm talking about how Indians trump them. I have everyone coming in, okay? And I make a knock against their culture, okay? Am I a racist? No. What's it about? It's about them, allowing them to dress themselves down based on the connotations that are made against their culture by everybody else. The bottom line is this, okay? We all have our quirks, and all nations and nationalities have their quirks. We should celebrate our quirks, we should explain, show off, and be proud of our quirks to everybody. We shouldn't suddenly be worried that people think that we're weird because we shake our heads from side to side, we dance with our fingers in the air, and so forth. We need to celebrate our quirks. We need to show them to the world. And if people are going to hate on us, who cares? That's my answer to you. Who cares?
Thank you very much.
Come right here. What's up, buddy? What's your question?
My question for you, because I learned about your business through social media, and obviously it's so successful. How did you come around with this kind of creative marketing strategy that everyone in the world loves?
Excellent. So I think I was born for video, all right? And I'm a very early adopter when it comes to social media. I think Facebook was made globally public publicly available to everyone in 2007, and all it was like a glorified platform for status updates, okay? But as soon as Facebook could allow photos on that were easily uploaded by your smartphone, I'd start putting client photos on it with some interesting text, okay? Comedic text. But I think Instagram was the kicker when Instagram introduced video, all right? And I first was just introducing the suits and describing the details. And I have an incredible relationship with all my clients. They're extremely trusting because I break down my clients within minutes, get inside their head, and bring their vision to life. So they're extremely trusting of me. So the videos, in order to get more eyeballs, they became more comedic, okay? They became more interesting, more edgy, more controversial. They were ultimately about the suits. And as the controversy picked up more and more eyeballs, I started to go more and more and more and more over the top. And it's basically, and that's where we are now in that type of content. This is not a disclaimer. Two things, and it's far from a disclaimer. I have over 300 young Chinese boy videos still locked up on that phone that I haven't uploaded yet. And those are just the young Chinese boys. Okay? I'm talking about 100-something others that I haven't released. Alright? My content is wide-ranging. Alright? I feature stuff with my family, my nights out, a lot of stuff with my son, the political work that I do. I'm John Lee's fanboy. You know what I mean? You see the amount of hate that I get with my John Lee videos. Part of that, you see how much the hate I get from my Carrie Lam videos and stuff. But nothing deters me. Okay? You see my vacations, you see my hotel rooms, you see my adventures everywhere. You'll see my time at HKUST, okay? But if you want, now listen, this is the important part, okay? If you want to be noticed, all right? You can do many things. One is you can pay 100 million US dollars right now to Cristiano Ronaldo. Give him 100 million US, he'll come and do anything for you, and you'll be noticed. But if you don't have that 100 million, and you don't want to spend even $1, then I have genuinely proven that without spending $1 and using all the free platforms out there that are available to me, and using my charm and using my comedy and using my advert, that I can be an absolute breakout success. And in this era, everybody on the planet knows me. And it didn't cost me $1, and I didn't have to pay Cristiano anything. You understand what I'm saying? And that's it.
Okay, thank you, tall Chinese boy. Okay. Oh, we will open it to you later. I have a few questions first. Come on, I'm the one sitting here. Give me some time. So, because this question was, I just had it just out because when you talk with him, you mentioned a lot of things which I think comes down to one word, which is value. So I want to know, through your work, how do you show your value and how do you hope such values resonate with the people that you inspire?
Okay. I'm not here to inspire anybody, all right? I'm only here to inspire my children. I'm selfish. I only am here to inspire my children. I gave birth to 3 kids. I brought them into this world. I owe them everything, okay? If I inspire other people, then it's a byproduct of what I'm doing in order to inspire my children. I'm only here to further enhance my legacy, which now I think I put into the toilet, but built my own legacy. I'm only here to keep my legacy and heritage going long enough so that when my children come to mature age and they want to adopt that platform, take on that platform, then there is something to pass over to them. Okay? I am not a hero. I am not someone who's trying to go on a road tour and inspire people and give my specific message across. What I am is courageous. What I like is to have the platform to put across my brand of comedy. What I don't like is people worried about not being able to be tribalistic. I hope you understand this, what I'm saying to you right now. I think the world has headed way far to the left for too long, where you can't celebrate who you are. And I genuinely believe that. And I think that thing is a wrong thing. Okay? So in my videos, with each and every person from a different nation, I whip out the anecdotes. I whip out the stereotypes. And I want to show the world that, hey, this guy knows all the stereotypes that are associated with his nation. And he's proud to sound them off. And I'm proud to help him sound them off. Okay? Because we shouldn't be shy to be tribalistic. You go into the stadium, you go into the Pasadena Rose Bowl, 100,000 people in California, USA play Mexico. 50,000 people shouting, USA, USA, USA. 50,000 people shouting, Mexico, Mexico, Mexico. That's okay. But when you come out of the stadium, you can't love who you are. I'm not okay with that. I want us all to love who we are. Loving who we are, being proud of who we are, does not make us racist. Okay? Does not make us someone who's pushing other cultures to the peripheral. Far from that. That's absolute nonsense. Okay, so I'm a big fan of tribalism, and I'm extremely tribalistic, and I give my clients a vehicle to espouse their own tribalism. And my clients then get hundreds of thousands of views, potentially millions of views, showing the world who they and their nation are. And that's my biggest win. I guarantee you that is my biggest win.
Okay, so I think something that you said, which was the power or the freedom to celebrate who you are, I think that resonated with every single person here, every single person not here. I think that resonated with us all. And so you mentioned your children just now, and we can see that on, your wife is here, and even on Instagram and your work, we can see you're a fantastic father. You did say you're a very affectionate father to your children. So I'd like to know, with all that you said you hope to inspire your children. So what is one life philosophy that you would like to impart to your children? What is the legacy you want to leave to them, the message?
It's going to be very cliche, okay? First thing is, obviously we only have one life to live, okay? And whatever just happened 1 second ago is gone. It doesn't matter. It doesn't exist anymore. People spend a lot of time talking about we need to learn from our mistakes, we need to learn from our mistakes, we need to learn from our mistakes. My wife tells me that all the time, we need to learn from our mistakes. Look, we're human beings, we should already be wired to learn from our mistakes. Okay? We don't need to sit and ponder. You can't spend your life thinking about how to learn from your mistakes. You need to spend your life trying to want to be somebody. Okay? I've spoken in many, many rooms, and many people will not pay attention or will bitch about me during or after the fact. Many people will say that this is not my thing. I would never get up there and speak. It's pointless. Many people will say you were only chosen to speak because people are desperate for speakers. I disagree with that 100%, 1000%. Humanity, human beings, they are wired to want to be heroes. Every human wants to be someone. And that is the truth. Okay? I do not believe that any human wants to be locked in a cave somewhere. Okay? Psychology, over a century or more, has proven that. The underlying thing that I would tell my kids, the underlying thing that I say about myself, and the underlying thing that I would tell you is be somebody. Okay? It is nonsense that there's no room on this planet for everyone to be somebody. I now know him, okay? And he is somebody to me. And I now know him, and he is somebody to me. And I've spent a year dialoguing with him, and he is somebody to me. In fact, I've just been telling him great things. I met him yesterday, and he said something great to me. He posted our photo, and then he took it down. And I asked him, why did you take the photo down? He goes, bro, it doesn't matter who saw the photo. What matters is that I got to meet you and connect with you, and that I have the photo. And that's what we should all think like, okay? We should all want to be somebody. Do not think you cannot be somebody. Do not think that you cannot be the hero, okay? I guarantee you that. You all have to fight hard to be someone. It's not good enough. God gave you, your parents gave you, the universe gave you, science gave you this life. You can't just waddle through life thinking to yourself that I can't be like how Cristiano is. Of course you can. And if you can't, at least try. I want that for me. I'm 48 years old. I still want to be someone. It's not enough for me. I don't want $1 billion. I don't want $1 billion. Yes, I would like $1 billion. But I cannot eat. There's a share. Okay? I cannot eat more than I'm already eating. Alright? I cannot eat more than I'm eating. Okay? So more money is no use to me. Okay? But I still want to be someone. And I'm not going to sit back. In fact, I just started. And that's my message to you guys. You've got a lot on your plate. You're just starting out in the world. I was where you were, okay? And it's tough. It's, you know, the emotions at your age are huge. Sit down. Emotions at your age are huge. And I respect those emotions. But the emotions that you have now, they pale in comparison to the responsibilities that you will have later. You will be married. Your parents will be aging. You will have children. Okay? Do you know that on the 1st of every month, KG5, those SOBs, take 55 grand out of my bank account? Okay? You know what a killer that is? A killer. Do you understand what $55,000 is? Okay, for 3 kids? So, your emotions right now, as important as they are to you, will pale in comparison to the responsibilities you will have when you get older. So the more that you can work hard now towards wanting to be somebody, by putting these young emotions aside, the better off you're going to be. Okay? Forget about the 4-day work week. Forget about working from home. Forget about going to a job interview and saying, what can you do for me? Do you have a coffee lounge? Is there free Wi-Fi? Is there a cap on working hours? Blah, 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 blah. Go into a working environment and say, listen, I want to work 100 hours a week. Because at 22 years old, I can work 100 hours a week. Because at 40 years old, I cannot. I will have too much responsibility and physically I won't be able to do so. When you are young, you are far, far, far more energetic than you are when you get older. The problem is that when you were young, you've got far too much chemistry going on in your brain. And you have to conquer that, like you conquer a dragon. You have to master that, like you master an animal in a circus. And when you can do that, great. But you know what? Nobody can do that. It's impossible, because if you could do that, it would have been done already. So, just believe in what I say, and try and be someone, and try doing that now.
I think you said that inspiring people is a side effect, but I think the side effect that you just had was quite large. So really thank you so much for that. And now I'd like to open it back up to the audience. We had 2 people who were doing this. So to the young Chinese boy and girl doing that, please come up and you can ask your question.
Ladies first?
Yeah, come on, be a gentleman. Yeah.
Yes, I don't believe in woke. I believe in chivalry. Go ahead, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Audrey. So my question for you is that I know that young Chinese boy is such a common phrase in your brand, and you actually, it's been associated with you for so long. So what's your ultimate recipe for humor?
How many Chinese people here? Put your hands up. You must tell me the truth. Do you love it that the whole world says young Chinese boy? Do you love it or not? Do you love it or not? Do you love it? You know what I love? I love I'm an Indian in Hong Kong, and that I made young Chinese boy a global phrase. Okay, I absolutely love it. Ask me a question.
What's your ultimate recipe for humor?
Honesty, right? I mean, my ultimate recipe for humor is honesty, all right? Because you've got, let's say this, you've got other cultures who are physically more bigger and potentially stronger than young Chinese boys, correct? Right? I'm not making this shit up, right? Indians, Chinese, we're generally smaller, tinier, more faint than black people or white people. So the whole point was to bring you guys, my young Chinese boys, to the forefront of the world. The most attention should be on the young Chinese boys, not the handsome Abercrombie, blonde, six-pack guys or the Greek god black NBA players. I wanted to give a spotlight to young Chinese boys. Do you believe me? You don't have to. But that's the truth, and I'm going to keep doing it. Is that okay for you?
Yes.
Thank you. What's your name?
My name's Carlos.
From this end.
So a young Chinese boy here. So there's one thing in my life. So that flatten me the most always in my life or in my work is that like sometimes we people do be getting like lack of motivation. So I have a question. So how do you find your motivation or find new motivations in your life towards your work? And also you mentioned that to be right to yourself. So how do you navigate towards your life and learn that the work that you're doing is correct, that is what you want?
Very easy answer, okay? So when I was in KG5, I wanted to date girls, okay? I think that was more important to me than being popular. I didn't care about being popular. I was already tall, and I was already vicious, okay? Very vicious. So, you know, nobody would ever screw with me, and when they did, then we have a problem, okay? So I didn't need to be popular, because I didn't want to go out and have a coffee or a juice with 4 or 5 girls, okay? I want to just be with one girl, alone, okay? So that's my motivation. So what do? So I decided to build an Indian night, and this is in Form 5, year 11. And we did it in Form 5, 6, 7, so it's year 11, 12, and 13. Okay, I played Gandhi, I did a Bhangra, I modeled, I did all the stuff, I danced, everything. And at that time, I think that, you know, my hormones were directing me towards Indian women, Indian girls and stuff. So I did this, and yeah, everything worked out great for me. And I think sort of the same thing happened at university. Okay, I was in university and I had even more hormones and stuff, and I didn't care about getting an internship with Goldman Sachs or going to work with Goldman Sachs. I wanted more and more Indian girlfriends. Okay, so I organized shows and I danced on stage, etc., etc. My next motivation was I wanted to get into every club and be the man. Okay, so I got into every club and I was the man. I was in my 20s in London, I was in my 20s in Hong Kong. But this is all farcical stuff, okay? But it is honest, okay? It's all farcical stuff and it's honest, and I wasted all these years of my life on farcical stuff, or I actually was honing my skills for the real things that came along, okay? I was honing my skills by making myself more courage, and you can build courage, okay? At any given point in your life, right now, if you feel non-courageous, you can say to yourself, I am going to be courageous, okay? It is not something that you are born with. It is not something that has to be intrinsic to you. You can manufacture courage. One of the things that I've said all along in the last decade is that I have manufactured the human being that I have become. I have, what you see here, I have created myself. I have not been led, I have not been pushed, I have not been guided, I have not been helped. I have completely manufactured myself, and you can do that for yourselves at any given age. Responsibility. That's why I tell you at your age, am I being presumptuous? Yes. Emotion is what drives you, but ultimately what is hindering you. But when responsibility comes in, okay, that's a whole new ballgame. All of a sudden you don't care about girls, you don't care about clubs. You care about your business, you care about your wife, and you care about your kids. And I want to be able to give. I joined Sam's Tailor when it was 43 years old. I took it to 50 years, to 55 years, to 60 years, to 65 years, now to 67 years. 67 years. Who's older than me in Hong Kong? HSBC, the Peninsula Hotel, who else? I've got one of the oldest businesses in Hong Kong. And a laundry list of A-list clients, okay, who don't even matter to me. What matters to me is you. All that matters to me is you. All that matters to me is that I get to make a suit for all of you. And even if I don't, and you hate me, and you think I'm an idiot, and you never will come and buy a suit from me, and you will always talk shit about me, doesn't matter. I'm the only one who got this opportunity to talk to all of you today. I did it. I want to take my business to tomorrow, and maybe the day after. And then I'm not thinking. I really am not thinking. People talk to me always about, what do you think of your competitors? Are you watching your competitors? Have you seen what your competitors are doing? Why would I waste my time looking at my competitors when my time is better suited taking care of my clients, taking care of my stakeholders? I couldn't care less about my competitors. A number of years ago, Sharton College came to see me, their design class or some class or whatever class, I don't know what class. So I took them from workshop to workshop and I asked my wife to film for me, okay? And halfway through, my wife goes to me, honey, you're giving away all your secrets. And this is a long time ago. And I said, honey, do you know who Elon Musk is? And she didn't, okay? And forgive her, nobody knew at that time who Elon Musk was. And what Elon Musk did, you remember, is his plan for the electric car. He put it on the internet. Do you guys know all about this? Put it on the internet for everybody. And I said, babe, by the time people are done copying me, I will have already moved on to something else. Which is the truth. Because I cannot stand still. I'm an evolutionist. And is it practiced evolution? Is it premeditated evolution? No. It's living in the moment, being in the moment, only thinking about today and tomorrow. You can call those cliches. You can say that's naive. But it works for me. And I'm very easily able to pivot in the face of any adversity, which I proved during the pandemic. February 1st, 2020, Hong Kong and China went dark. I had no business for 1 month. March 1st, 2020, I turned on 3 phones, Instagram Live, TikTok Live, and my WhatsApp video. And I became the virtual tailor. And it was must-see TV. 5, 6, 7 live stream clients in the morning to North America, 3, 4, 5 live stream clients in the afternoon to Europe or Australia. Live in the moment, believe in the moment, only think about tomorrow, conquer now. Why you want to conquer later? What if later doesn't come? Conquer now. Don't think about your $100 million next year. Think about your $1 now. I guarantee that's really important as well. And it's more easy to obtain. You good?
Thank you for answering.
Any other question?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Sorry, my microphones are working, but I think what you said to Carlos just now, so because a lot of us, so on a lot of spectrums, so it could be studying, it could be when you're applying for internships, starting your own business, a lot of us will have sort of a notion of, oh, what is he doing? You know, what is she doing? Like, we think of others too much, that we don't focus on ourselves. And one of the questions I had before, I think you answered, so I'm not going to ask it, but I was gonna ask, like, with so many tailors in Hong Kong, and you're one of the longest, not just tailors, but businesses in Hong Kong, I was gonna ask, how do you survive to the stage? But then I think now all of us know how, which is Rojan is so focused on his work, his clients, and not everyone else. So I think that is also a message to all of us to not care about the A grade beside you, not care about that person who's in some student club, some internship. Instead is to focus on your work, be courageous, be aggressive, be passionate, right? So I think any more questions, because time's almost up, so if you have a question, now is the time to ask. Okay.
What's your name?
Jory.
Jory?
Jory.
Did I meet you yesterday?
Yes.
Awesome.
I'd like to ask, how do you manage having a long-term vision versus living in the moment?
I have no long-term vision whatsoever, okay? Dreams are pointless. You might as well just have wet dreams. Those are the only good dreams, okay? And that's the truth, all right? You want to survive long-term, thrive short-term. Make every day so good, okay? You stay right here, all right? If you come to my shop today, okay? If you come to my shop today, and I spend lots of time with him, okay? HKUST, so he gets the HKUST discount, which earns me nothing, okay? But I spend 1 or 2 hours with this guy, okay? And my father's yelling at me, he's telling me that I'm an idiot, and that I spent, nearly 2 hours with some stupid guy, and I earned only HKUST discount money. And then I move on to this guy, okay? And I spend another hour and a half with him, okay? And he got the HKUST discount, and I hardly made anything. And then I go eat a quick lunch. And then in the afternoon, I see this guy, and he comes in. And it's the same story. I spent another hour and a half with him, but he got the HKUST discount. Or he's a backpacker. Or he's someone who saw me on TikTok and really only wants to be there because he's a fanboy, okay? And I spend an hour chatting with him and he buys a shirt, okay? My dad will say, you spent your whole day only talking to these 3 guys. You sold a discounted suit, and 1 shirt, okay? But you know what? I wanted it. I made my fan happy, okay? He loves me forever. He's gonna tell everyone about me. He's gonna post me on TikTok. This guy's never gonna buy a suit from anyone else ever again. At the end of the process, he's 1 million views of me slapping his ass on Insta. He's got the best suit ever. He spent time with me picking my brain. And I gotta make him look so handsome. He's already living proof of what I've talked about. Correct?
Yeah.
How good was the suit?
Very good.
How much coverage you get?
Almost 1 million views.
Almost 1 million views, okay? You focus on today. Not every day some billionaire staying at the Peninsula or the Rosewood is going to come in and buy 10, 20 suits. Yeah, there are going to be those days. And you don't sit and think to yourself that I only want to focus long term. I only want millionaires and billionaires staying at the Rosewood, staying at the Peninsula, staying at the Four Seasons, coming and buying from me. Why? I'll tell you why. Because that was my father's focus pre-pandemic. And we were killing it. If you landed in Hong Kong, you came to Sam's Taylor. And what happened when the pandemic hit? Nobody can come into Hong Kong. My father's business died. But my business thrived. And as long as the pandemic lasted, not one single day went by where I did not drop a young Chinese boy video, brand new young Chinese boy video, where I did not drop a live streaming video, and where I did not drop an unboxing video. Client abroad through live streaming, received the package, and is so happy. Roshan, the suit whisperer, is the true virtual tailor. Because I focus only on the moment. Look, it's your choice. Most people aren't like me, okay? Most people need a long-term plan. Most people need to work towards $1 billion. Most people need what I don't want. I want every day to be a great day. I want to leave a mark on everyone. I like to build brick by brick the old school way. Okay? Wherever I go, whoever I meet, whoever I work with, always remember me. There are different ways to create and achieve star power. You don't just have to be playing for Real Madrid to have star power. You can meet and work with individuals on a small basis every day, and then walk the streets of your own city and every other city on the planet, and people will run to you and show to you that you have star power. Okay? Is that alright for you? You sure? Okay. Should we get one more question? That's it. Come on up. Both of you come up. Come up, come up. Whoever wants to ask a question, come up, and then we'll wrap. You have a question? Come. Okay, let's go. Are you Chinese?
Okay, I'm a young Chinese boy. Young Chinese boy. Right. And I'm sure every one of you, right, sitting here, have always gone through very bad setbacks in your life. And sometimes maybe you're very lost in your life. You don't know exactly what you want to do, and sometimes life just hits you like a truck and you don't know how to react. And I'm sure you have gone through something like that in your life as well. How do you react with some situations like that?
You just reset, okay? You force yourself to reset. You go back to the basics. What's the most basic thing in your life? Are you a student? Okay, just focus on your studies and go to class. Don't think about anything else. Don't think about achieving anything. Don't think about achieving anything at that point, okay? You need a true reset. If you're already working, go to work, go home, go to the gym. Don't see anybody, don't speak to anyone. Make sure you have that mental reset. If you focus on a mental reset, you don't need self-help, you don't need a shrink, you don't need some book in a bookstore, you don't need any of that shit. You can solve your own problems, okay? Just reset yourself. Or call me. I'm not a psychologist. Is that okay for you?
I'm a young Japanese boy. So right now you're facing so much success with your social media presence and your brand. But I wanted to ask, what was the biggest failure that you experienced that shaped your current mindset and who you are right now?
I don't think I failed at anything. I don't waste my time thinking about what didn't work out. So if I don't waste my time thinking about what didn't work out, then I have no catalog of things that didn't work out. So I cannot rank that catalog and give you my biggest failure because I don't have one. I think my biggest failure was not marrying my wife sooner. I think my biggest failure was not having 6 kids instead of 3. I'm just talking. But no, I have no biggest failure. And even if I did, it would be buried somewhere or expunged somewhere because I don't want to focus on stuff like that, and I don't think you guys should. I don't think failure is anything. You know what I mean? My son cracked his ankle. I don't know if you guys know the game of cricket. So he's playing for Hong Kong. He's training for Hong Kong, and he's bowling in the nets. So he's bowling to his Hong Kong cricket teammate 3 weeks ago on a Monday night. So off his own bowling, his friend Kush drives the ball, and Rian gets hit on his ankle off his own bowling. Okay, he cracks, he tears his ligaments on both sides, and he cracks the bone in his ankle. And this happens on a Monday night, and that Saturday is the tryouts for the Hong Kong Under-13s All-Stars, which he was a shoo-in for. And that Sunday was his Under-13s Elite Final, which he played every match for and made it to the final. He didn't make the All-Stars because he couldn't try out. He didn't get to play in the Under-13 final, the Elite Final, which he earned a spot in, okay? But that's not a failure on his part. He's walking around and he was broken the first couple of days. I told him, bro, when you're done with these projects, you're going to be able to do dips and pull-ups like a mofo. Every kid your age and slightly older, you're going to be able to out-dip them and out-pull-up them. The upper body strength you're going to gain from these crunches is going to be immense. And I wasn't making that stuff up. And he's going to come back so much stronger. And that's the absolute truth. There is no failure in life. There is no failure in life. You can't box yourself into that. And these are not words, it's true. It's the truth. He's asked me a question, what's my biggest failure? I said, I don't have any. Look at me, I'm in front of all of you. Whether you are 60 here or 600 or only 6. Who else has what I have right now? Tell me who else, anytime, everywhere in history, has what I have right now. Where's my failure? Me being here in front of you is a massive success, is a crowning moment in my career, and I'm forever grateful to you guys.
So we all know you're a very well-established man with your business and online presence, but what is your key to managing all aspects of your life? Because we know you stay in shape, you're a great father, and your business as well.
Grind and not delegating, okay? If you want to succeed truly, okay, until you make your billions and until you are able to afford employees that continue to make you money, all right, you have to grind. I'm not done yet. I work at least 99 hours a week. I get up now 3:45 a.m. every day. I just keep getting up early and earlier. I cut all my content myself. I post it everywhere. I communicate with all my clients, and then I service. Then I work out. Okay. I have a genuine belief that nobody will buy clothes from me if I'm not ripped. Okay. I am the Indian Brad Pitt under this suit. Okay, and I earned it. I diet relentlessly. I work out relentlessly, and that takes time. And it just gives me an advantage. It gives me an advantage when I speak to my clients. And then I throw, 6 o'clock, I throw my 3 phones. I don't care if the president is calling. I don't care if John Lee is calling. John Lee knows that Roshan's phone's off at 6. And I have to be with my children because I brought these children into this world and I need to be with them. How do I manage it? I grind. I had influenza B. I have only half day off on Sunday. I was immobile. I went to lunch, I went to coffee, I went to dessert, I went shopping. I was distraught. I apologized to my children. I said, I'm so sorry. I'm the worst papa today. I couldn't do anything with you guys on my only half day off. I was just so disappointed in myself. You have to put yourself under pressure. If you want to beat somebody, you think someone's going to hand it to you? I ain't handing anything of mine to anybody except for my wife and kids. I ain't handing anything away to anyone. I earned it. You want to be somebody? Forget about all the nonsense. Forget about the emotions. Forget about the pain. Grind. Time for question?
Yeah, one last.
Hey, so you mentioned to be aggressive, right?
Yes.
So can I get a free suit?
How about a round of applause for the kid? Okay, so actually everybody pays. Okay, everybody pays. There's no free suit. I'm a small business with low margins, and that's why I'm successful. So there's no free suit, right? The presidents of the United States pay. They have to pay. They can't take free shit. Athletes pay. Tom Segura pays. Who did I just have? Imagine Dragons paid. Meta World Peace paid. Everyone pays. How do you get a free suit? Okay, it's probably not free anyways. I connect with the community always. Anybody who's having anything and has an auction or wants a donation for some sort of price, I'm always giving not just my product, but my time away as well. But ultimately, even if you were to obtain a suit that way, you probably have to bid for it. There are no free suits, but you are very bright young people. So if a free suit is what you really desire, come up with a great idea and pitch it to me. And if I love the idea, I'll give you the free suit. I promise you. Is that okay?
Okay. Can we have a round of applause for that? I think you just earned a lot of people free suits. Okay, so I think that's about it. And I'd just like to ask everyone, do you feel like you saw a different side of Rojan today? Yeah? So again, I'd like to today to leave you with what he said. I'm not going to try to rephrase because I think the way you said it has impact, so I'm going to leave it as it is. But thank you so much, and thank you all so much for participating. I hope, although he didn't try to inspire you actively, but I'm sure all of you are very much inspired. And so
I think a lot of you are gonna show up to the shop and maybe chat later. So I think later you're gonna hang out.
I'm gonna hang out here for about an hour. So if you want to ask me any questions, I will just be
around this
right in the
area.
small and stuff. Just come and grab me, and I'm happy to interact with you anyways. I'm so grateful to have been here today. Thank you for allowing me to be your guest. And if you ever, for some reason, decide to want me back, I'm happy to come back. But it's awesome. I want to be the poster boy for Hong Kong. And that's the truth. It may sound ridiculous, but I think I'm halfway there. Okay, yes, we've got Jackie Chan, yes, we've got Bruce Lee, but how many young people globally remember them, recognize them, think of them? You know what I mean? I want to fly the flag for my city, and I can do it better with recognition and support from all of you. I mean that.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Appreciate you. How did that go?
Oh, also, anyone who wants a free, is it free? It's free, right? Indian chill guy.